Dave here, Black Label Painting. Just figured I'd take you through a real quick walkthrough, basically, on how I do Warlords and what I magnetize and where I magnetize. So here's a little quick, just to show you how I do the arms. I usually double stack two pretty strong magnets right there, and then I'll put one magnet up inside there. Does pretty good. With double stacking them, it accommodates for the weight of the arm of the gun. Two magnets will do it, but it'll have a little bit of teetering, so that's why I double stack the bottoms. Both of them there. Now, I've copied this idea from someone else. I can't take full credit for it, but I've magnetized it to where you can move the head around. Not that you'll be looking around or anything like that in a Warlord anyhow, too much, but it's still pretty cool for the thematics. Put it down on the ground. It's cool stuff. Also magnetize up here, and I also have I give the option to magnetize all of the void shield generators. It just helps you keep track of your void shields as they go down during gameplay. And then I gave it a pretty good bracing pose. It's not so much walking; he's just bracing to unload his volley per se. Also, the waist is magnetized right there. I've got really solid magnets, and I mean you can carry the model and it will not, the legs will not fall off, they will not teeter. I believe the magnet I use on the waist is like a 20 pound pull. I do go a little bit overboard with some of my magnets. I try not to make it where you have to rip the damn thing apart, but I also would rather have a little bit of overkill on magnets than drop things and break things, because let's face it, these models are expensive. You spend a lot of money paying to have them painted, magnetized, built, or you just spend a lot of money on the models themselves. So again, this is just a simple build that I did for in the studio. It's just a simple build, magnetize, and I'm going to be sending it off to the client. He'll be doing all his own paint work, I'm guessing. But also, I do brass rods in all the legs. There's brass rod there. There's brass rod there. The toes have brass rods. I even sent a brass rod. You probably can't see it, but there's a brass rod that goes from one side all the way to the other. One giant brass rod. It's 1/8 brass rod. And I covered up the holes with these hip joints here. So, again, I don't just use super glue on these. I use epoxy resin, which is a two-part, excuse me, I can't speak right now, 2-part epoxy resin from Bob Smith Industries. It's a 5-minute quick cure. I use that on all my Warlords and big model builds just because this stuff is so much more stronger than just super glue. And when you combine it with brass rods, it really is like concrete almost. So this will be going on its way to Canada, and I do not expect any breakage along the way. Yep, I can say that we're pretty confident. But if anyone wants to know anything about how I do Warlords and all that jazz, just hit me up. If you want to commission a Warlord, or if you just want to commission to have one built and assembled and magnetized, I can take care of that for you as well. Thanks again, guys.